If we can see the document I'm sharing, you can be reading quietly. It's, the patient rights, that's what we expect, patients expect from us. I think we're going to cover it, but if you read in advance, that would be nice as we wait.
Who is it? Who is it? All right, thank you.
I see Kenneth Casby, this is the first time I've seen you on the meeting. Welcome.
All right, Dr. Omokobe, I have to jump out of the meeting for just a few minutes. If you don't mind going over the patient rights, just read over and a quick understanding of what each item is letting us know, and I will be back in just a few.
No problem. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the meeting. Again, you can see we have made a commitment that every Friday, come rain or shine, at 2 o'clock, we'll have this meeting so that we can be able to hear from you. We can also be able to take some training, and you can also be able to learn from us what is coming down the pipe. So like you've heard, Ms. Emily has said, we can continue with the training until she finishes what she's doing, then she'll come and join us. As other people come and join, I will start with the patient rights. That's what the law says, that every health agency must provide the patient with a written notice of the patient's rights during the initial assessment visit or before initial care. That means before we go into a patient's home to start giving care, we must explain to them what their rights as patients are. That means as you go into the homes, it would be nice for you to find out whether the patient actually understands their rights as given by us, so that we both know what to expect from each other. And I'll see that each patient must have a right to be treated with courtesy, consideration, respect, and dignity. Meaning, we need to treat the patients right. Okay? That's what is expected of us legally. That's what the patients expect of us, and that's what we expect of ourselves. Secondly, we are expected to encourage and support patients in independence. That means that sometimes the patient may not want to do something that they could do. We are supposed to encourage them to do it so that they become independent. We don't have to do things for them so that they depend on us. You get the feel. Sometimes a sick person may not want to wake up, and if they can be able to wake up on themselves by themselves, we need to encourage them and support them to do that. We don't want to make them dependent on us. Thirdly, we need to make sure that the patients know their self-determination and choice, that they have a choice, including the choice to participate in their own care plan. That means we don't go to the patient's home and tell them, this is what we are going to do to you. This is what we would like to do for you. What would you like us to do? That is it. They have a choice, and they have ability to self-determination. So that right of self-determination It's important. I know we have tasks to carry out every day, but the tasks should not take precedence over the patient's right to self-determination and choice. You cannot go with the task list and say, I'm going to do A, B, C, D and leave when the patient has priorities within reason. So that is that is their right to be able to determine what they need done and how they need it done. Patients also have a right to privacy and confidentiality. You can see all of you, most of you may be in patients' homes, but you don't have to show patients in your videos or in your photos, because they have a right to privacy and confidentiality. We don't want somebody who would watch this video to be able to figure out where you are, who you are working with, what they are sick from. That is also against the HIPAA. So the patient has a right to privacy and confidentiality to the extent that you may not use your camera or to photograph, to take videos or photographs of patient homes, patients, the patient themselves or something. Their life is private, their life is confidential, we keep it that way. Patients also have a right to be protected from abuse, neglect, mistreatment, financial exploitation, solicitation, and harassment. Meaning, we are authorized reporters. If we go into a patient home and we think there is something that's not right towards abuse or neglect or mistreatment or for financial exploitation, we need to report. We need to tell the office, because we as an agency are expected to report as well. So if a patient seems to be having challenges with solicitation, continuous harassment on the phone or in the home, we need to report that. We need to protect them from that. And that also means that we are expected not to do any of these things. We are expected to treat our patients with courtesy, consideration, respect, and dignity, and not abuse, neglect, mistreat, or financially exploit any of them. Some of them, that comes to the point of our patients offering you something. They may not have the capacity to make decisions. So we do not expect you to take stuff more.
Do you want me to turn the heat on? Turn the heat up?
Okay, would you please mute yourself?
I'm sorry.
Thank you, Cassidy. So our patients, some patients may not be able to make informed decisions. So if a patient offers you something, you have to respectfully decline, because they may not have that ability to make a decision that is to their best interest. So that is financial exploitation or solicitation or harassment, because they may have, you may think they have the capacity to make the decision, but they may not have to. They may not be able to do that, and we are not supposed or not expected to participate in situations like those. This is a lot, but I think it's something that we need to know and we put in practice. Secondly, our patients have a right to voice grievances without discrimination or reprisal. If a patient says something, we cannot do something to retaliate because they said it. If they voice a grievance, we need to follow it up. You need to report it to the office. We need to follow it up, and then we need to make sure we fix it or explain maybe a misunderstanding, or if it was true, we need to fix that. So it's a patient right to be able to voice grievances without discrimination or reprisal. A patient needs to be fully informed as evidenced by a patient's written acknowledgement of the right of these rights and all the rules and regulations regarding patient conduct and responsibilities. So in your home, in the homes where you are, if there is no patient rights statement which has been signed by the patient and the patient is on file, please let the office know. We need to make sure that we have a copy in the patient's homes and we have a copy in the office. So if you always go to a patient home today, I would like to request that you check their files, make sure that their patient rights are there and that the patient has acknowledged that they know these rights. If they are not in a position to acknowledge, their representative must have signed it, and we need to keep a copy both in the office and in the patient's home. So they have a right to be informed, and it must be evidenced by the patient's written acknowledgement of these rights and all the rules and regulations regarding patient conduct and responsibilities. That means we expect to do some things in the home or with the patient, but they are also expected to do some things to us. And that understanding must be there in written, reduced in written, both kept at the patient's home and in the office. So as our representative in the homes, please check to make sure that the patients have this written out. And they have a right to be informed at the time of admission of the services and activities available and the related fees. That means we cannot just take a patient and not tell them what we're going to do and how much it's going to cost. The patient should be able to tell you how much we are charging them per hour of your visit. So if they don't have that written out in the agreement with them, we need to fix that. So as you go in the homes, we need to make sure that the patient, in the patient file, this information is there because it's their right. They have to be informed at the time of admission, and it has to be maintained there. And 7.2.9 says the patient has a right to be served by individuals who are properly trained and competent to perform their duties. That individual is you. You need to feel like you are trained properly and you are able to conduct to do the jobs we send you to do. If you are not, or if you don't feel that you are, you need to tell us so that we can fix it. Because the patient has a right to make sure that he gets proper service from you and that you are properly trained. And they have a right to refuse care and be informed of possible health consequences of the refusal. Meaning, even if you are trained and you are good, the patient 7.23 says they have a right to self-determination and choice, and they have a right to refuse care. We cannot force them to take care from us, but we have a right to, we will have to inform them of what would happen if they don't take the care from us. So those are the patient rights that are expected of the patients, and you are supposed to know them. So this is a training, this is a continuous learning training. We shall take it we shall put it in your files of all the attendees. I have all the attendees here. We'll put in the file, and you will need to sign. We'll send you a note to say that you attended this training of patient rights, so that we keep you, we make sure that you are kept informed and trained about what is expected and what the patient rights are. If anybody has any question on the patient rights, please let me see it in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and ask a question. I can take a few questions. Anyone with a question on patient rights? Sometimes I talk too fast. If I talk too fast, you just tell me, hey, David, you talk too much. You talk too fast. I didn't understand 7.1, 7.2. We can repair it. So that this is very important as we go to patient homes to know what their rights are. They have a right to refuse care, okay? We can only inform them of what the consequences of refusing care are. We cannot force them. They have a right to be served by individuals who are properly trained. You need to be trained on all the tasks that you do to the customers or the patients. If you are not, ask the office. Do not do something that you do not know how to do or you are not confident with, because it is against their right, if for somebody who doesn't know something, to try to do something for them. So
all right, and I'm here. I'm not sure where you're at in the process, Dr. Makobe.
I have finished. I was just reiterating the patient rights, their ability to refuse care and be informed of the possible health consequences, and also their right to self-determination and choice, including opportunity to participate in developing their own patient plans. I read all of them, and I was just asking if anybody has questions.
Perfect. All righty. Now, the next thing we wanted to discuss today is, hopefully everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we are so happy to have you again as part of the team and our patients as well. But just quick reminder, I just wanted to let you guys know that as part of our process, we are human and we are always very concerned with our patients' well-being, especially over the weekend. I mean, over the holidays, some of them don't have anyone over. So I just wanted to caution everybody, please don't make too many promises with the patients. For example, if you let the patient know that you're going to give them something over Thanksgiving, I'm going to drop off a meal, I'm going to do this, and something comes up in your schedule and now you're no longer available, you have committed steps to be responsible for this action. And when you let the patient know this, they may call their family and say, hey, no, you don't need to come this week because for Thanksgiving, my caregiver, David, is available. They're bringing me a meal. I'm going to be fine. She said she's going to hang out with me or whatever the case may be. And now this patient is alone. And under a circumstance where the family thinks you're going to be there, STEPS is not aware that we have made this commitment with this patient. So please do not commit yourself outside of your scheduled hours. If you feel there's a need for you to stop by for whatever reason, please make sure we are aware of this situation. That way we can also cover and make sure patient is safe during those hours that we're saying we're going to be there for whatever reason. The other thing I also wanted to caution us during this season is sharing personal information with the patients. Part of being a professional and a person who is, of service to these patients is to ensure that we are professional at all times. That's why you're in your scrubs and you're not in your home clothes when you go to the patient's home. Now, if you start sharing too much of your information, last night my boyfriend beat me up, you know what, after this, I'm gonna go do this, I'm heading to have a fight with my friend, or you know what, I'm having an issue with my job, they did this to me, they did this to me. These patients are already very stressed out. They don't need to be able to become, they don't need our additional complaints and things being, we don't want to burden them with that. I'm not saying you cannot create a good personal relationship with the patient. I'm just saying, please, let's keep it professional. Your work information, patient information, discussing other patients with the patient, any of these things, they are not professional. We do not want to do something like that with a patient. Again, quick reminder, if you're going to leave the home for whatever reason, make sure you're calling the office and that we are aware that this is happening. I want to commend everybody for your availability. Yesterday being a holiday was very, very smooth. We were able to provide coverage. We were able to be there for our patients. So I really, really want to commend everybody for all that you did over the holidays and in the coming weeks. Thank you so much. If there are no other questions, please let me know. If anybody has any question, we're going to give it a few minutes. All right. Tish, did she get a chance to speak or?
She's not here.
Alrighty. And then, and I know Judy also, that we had a bit of a crisis, so they're both dealing with that. So
Okay.
thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for participating. We will see you next week, exactly the same time, and have a wonderful weekend and stay safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.